Hi guys, happy February. Really glad to be back. And I've got something super exciting to share with you guys today. So I don't even want to dilly-dally too much. I want to go ahead and open this box. My goal is to not let things stack up too much this year like I did. I still have tarot decks to open from last year, probably like a year ago, but that's not what it's about. Today it is about this. This is a deck that was actually sent to me. And I can't tell you how excited I am because when I got this email, I was like, why are these people emailing me? Maybe it's because I have ordered from them before. No, they were actually writing to say, can we send you a deck? And we found your channel. We want to see if maybe you would want to open this deck on there. Well, who this is actually James Eads, James R. Eads. And if you have been into tarot and sort of what's been going on in the tarot world for the last 2 years, there's a pretty good chance that you've heard of Mr. Eads. So the deck that introduced me to this person is this deck, the Prisma Visions. Now, ooh, yeah, let's get that sunbeam right there. So this is a deck that actually came out first on Kickstarter, and it was, this might actually be this might be the first Kickstarter deck I ever got. So it came out a couple years ago, and I just remember it was really fun to watch along. As soon as I saw the illustrations for this deck, I absolutely was on board. It was fun to sort of watch it as it goes along. If you guys know anything about Kickstarter, you know that once the certain goal is met, then whatever it is that you are helping to fund can get an upgrade. So as I watched as people were so excited about this deck, do these images look familiar to you guys? He's a pretty well-known artist. I mean, I see his art. People post it even that is not specifically from this tarot deck. The interest was so much that these goals kept getting met, and it added on things like being able to have these cool silver edges, to being able to have this really nice box. So once this deck arrived, I was super excited. I was so pleased with it because there is something very, very unique about this deck that I haven't yet to see in any other tarot deck. And that is that when you lay the suits out from Ace, and I believe it goes all the way through the court cards as well, it makes one long continuous picture. It's like a panorama shot that there's a story that weaves throughout all of the cards. And it's really, really cool. So, I don't have these cards in order because I've been shuffling them, but just to give you a little bit of an idea, here's the 5, 8, and 10 of swords. So I'll just show you the 5 and the 8 next to each other. You can see that they are part of a scene. Now, these two cards aren't even, there's other cards in between these, but even still you can see that they line up. They have a similar background. So it becomes almost like this really cool storytelling to go throughout each of the suits. So it's a beautiful deck. I was very, very happy with it, and I've never made a video of it because it's something that I've already owned and I'd already opened. So when this company reached out to me and said, hey, we would love to send you a deck, I thought, well, that's great. I already have that deck, but lo and behold, there's another deck. Did you guys know this? If you already have the Prisma Visions, you may not even know about this, but we're going to open it right now and see what this is all about. And I did look up about this artist, and it turns out he's actually here. He's local. He lives in Los Angeles. He had relocated to Los Angeles and actually has an art space down in the old brewery. So if you're ever in LA, there's a really cool sort of structure compound. It used to be a brewery, and now it's all different artist lofts. They do monthly exhibits there. A lot of artists are down there, and they allow walkthroughs of their studios or their galleries. I think that they do like a brewery art walk once a month. But anyway, so he has a space down there. So let's go ahead and see what we've got in here. I mean, even the box, look at this, right when I opened it, that's The suit's stamped right on the inside. Very cool. And this card here that says, "Hi Naha, hope you enjoy your Light Visions deck." All right. Oh my goodness, they even have their own specially printed wrapping paper there. I love it already. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. We're burning sunlight here, so trying to get this open. So to my understanding, what this deck is a previously created deck that came out prior to the Prisma Visions. This is called the Light Visions. So I guess this is the deck that inspired the Prisma Visions. And from my understanding, it's a monochromatic deck. Here's the box. It's that similar kind of really nice high quality box. I know that the Prisma Visions is definitely available, but now they have re-released this original monochromatic version. So on the back it says, "The Light Visions Tarot, a set of cards to ease your mind." Wow, that makes me feel good already. You know, a lot of people, the first time they come and get a tarot reading, they're so nervous. I guess that's normal, right? The first time that you do anything, I mean, there's going to be a little bit of nerves, but whenever somebody comes to the house, to House of Intuition, and gets a reading with me, I get, you know, most of my clients are returnees, but sometimes there's new people, and people always have a little bit of trepidation. They don't know what they're going to hear. So they're right off the bat, this idea that this is a deck of cards to ease your mind. I like it. 79 card deck, illustrated by James R. Eads, includes a 100-page guidebook. 79, not 78. You guys know a normal deck has 78 cards. Well, in the Prisma Visions, there is a secret 79th card. I won't spoil that for you if you don't have it already. It's kind of fun to see what that is. Going ahead and opening this, and normally I wouldn't keep the tarot in the box that it came in, but this is such a high quality box, it's absolutely meant to be kept and stored this way. And inside it says, "The fool believes he is someone he is not, wading through waters for something unsought. The magician plays tricks in the dark of the night, refracting the light of all future sight. A set of cards to tease your mind, revealing a past, present, and future combined." Is that what it said? To tease your mind? No, to ease your mind. Okay. So this is the second edition of the Light Visions Tarot. And first of all, we have the book that it comes with here. Each card. This is interesting. It says right at the beginning of cups are called chalices. It says the Ballad of Chalices. And what I am thinking is that this deck also may have that extended storyline throughout all of the cards. We'll have to take a look and see. Ooh. So here we go. This deck has the metallic gold edges, which match this monochromatic. It's got that kind of sepia tone to it. Now, some of these designs I know are very, very similar to the Prisma Visions, but just what a very cool feel these have. And there's a couple different decks that I have that are monochromatic. And they just lend themselves to a very ancient wisdom kind of feel. There's nothing that they reference in terms of the color palette, so they don't connect to like a specific era. They just feel a little older. There's the High Priestess, the Moon, the Empress. So what I'm seeing is that some of these images are very similar, and then some of them are different. I know that this Emperor card is different than the Emperor in the Prisma Visions. Here's the Hierophant, and you can see the representation with Taurus there, the bull. So James knew what he was doing when he made these major arcana, and he included the zodiacal attributes, which some artists they don't even know that there are zodiacal attributes. So the fact that he included those in here, I think, is very cool. Look at this, the Chariot. I love that. And I tell people with the Chariot, you know, it's rare that the cards represent something literal. Usually they're symbols, they're metaphors, they're analogies for things. But once in a while, the Chariot is just literally your chariot. It's the car that you drive, the skateboard that you're on. Oh, this is a very cool Wheel of Fortune. Look at that. We have the peacock and the serpent there. And that's interesting in the sense of the animals that you see around the wheel kind of going up and down and the sort of spiral labyrinth that they have in the center there. This is the Death card. And as I just told my tarot students the other day in class, the Death card is the Death card. It's not the Rebirth card. It's not the, oh, don't worry, it's a new beginning. No, it's the Death card. It precedes new beginnings. But don't try to make the Death card into something that it's not. It's about endings. It's not about beginnings, but without the death, you can't have a rebirth, right? So sometimes people try to diminish the fact that it's about death or the ending of things. And it's not it's not to be taken as a literal death. It can be anything that comes to an end. All things have an ebb and flow. All things cycle around. So don't fear the Death card. Just allow it to be and allow yourself to recognize when something's done, it's done. Here's the Tower. Another one that people get a little bit concerned about when they see, but as you should always remember that, and the Fool tells us this, and the fact that the Fool is the 0 card, it's both the first and the last card in the deck, right? And what it's telling us is that the tarot is not a linear line, it's a cycle, it's a circle. So you don't start off as the Fool and then go through all the cards and get to the World and then that's it, that's the end. If that was the case, the Death card would probably be last, wouldn't it? But it's not. The Death card falls in the center, and then you have to go through the Temperance card, the Devil card, the Tower card. And the Tower is not the last card either. And I tell people this all the time. The Tower is not the end of the story. It's just a chapter along the way. The Star is always one of my favorite cards. And this is actually the card that corresponds to Aquarius, which is the sign that we happen to be in right now. Let's go ahead and move forward towards the, oh, here's the secret card. I'm not going to show it to you guys, but I will show you the back. But I do want you to know that there is a secret 79th card, and I just want to leave that as secret for those of you who still might be going out to get this deck. I will tell you, it's pretty cool, and I've never seen a card. It's not the same as the Prisma Visions 79th card. So first up, we have the Suit of Cups. And again, they look similar to the Prisma, but definitely they are their own thing. And guess what, you guys? Yes, this is all one long picture. So I'll show you the Ace, the 2, and the 3 of Chalices. So you can see there how they make one complete picture, starting with the Ace of Chalices, the Fountain, and then we have the 2 people that meet there and the 3 girls in the 3 of Chalices. And it's hard for me to say exactly what the media is that these are done with. Some of them almost look like the backgrounds, this almost looks like it's done almost with like a chalk. It's just got a very, very natural kind of feel to it. So it doesn't look like it's drawn with like pen and ink, although parts of it are. It's just very organic, I think is the best way to say that. taking a look at some of the court cards. Here's the Page, Knight, and Queen. And we see that long sea serpent there in the background that makes up those 3 cards. Isn't that cool? So it would be something really interesting. I absolutely love this. Let's throw the tail on there as well, which we see in the King. Yeah. So when you're doing a reading, it's interesting to see when 2 cards do fall next to each other. And I always do like to say, if you're doing a reading, to let the images kind of blend into one big picture. Well, it's much more helpful when they actually do make a one picture. Oh, these are just absolutely beautiful. There's something about them. I might like this deck even more, to be honest, you guys, than the colored version. Wow. Next we have the Pentacles. They're very, very nice quality, and it's nice also to have the name of the card down at the bottom, so you're not left guessing as far as which card is this. I always find that useful. And there's no borders, so that you can really see how things do fit together. Sometimes tarot decks, they're just made once and that's it, and you can't ever get your hands on them again. So the fact that these were re-released, and I'm sure they will sell out again, is just very special. Of course, I'll leave the link down below for where you guys can order this deck. Here's some of the swords. I really love the court cards and the swords. It's got this, first of all, this big goose with teeth here. There's the knight kind of fighting with it. And then we see the Queen of Swords, and she actually binds it. Doesn't that kind of remind you of strength, right? That sense of that woman that's taming that wild animal. And then we see the King, who actually stands there. Now the babies have been born. So there's a total story here about transmutation and taking something that begins in a fearful aspect and taming it, and something really beautiful being born out of it, which I think is similar to the story of the Death card, the story of the Tower, and really the story of the Suit of Swords. I don't know how many times I need to tell you guys this, but it is those most difficult cards which really are the ones where beautiful changes occur, where transmutation occurs, where we can work through things. If we never changed, if we never transmuted, if we never evolved, life would be very boring and we'd basically sit and be stagnant. But no, we work through our challenges, and in doing so, we level up, we become stronger, we actually gain our gifts and our talents through coming up against obstacles and having to put our mind to use, be creative. It's something also that I want to mention as I show you guys the wands. When you are learning the tarot, yes, you are automatically developing your intuition. The best way to develop your intuition is by just continuing to pull the cards, let them speak to you. Look how beautiful these are, you guys. That's the 4. And at the same time, it's not only the intuition that you want to develop, you also want to develop your left brain as well, which is the logical side that allows you to speak, that allows you to put something into words, into a message. If you're doing a reading, it's not just about seeing and getting a feeling and kind of getting a sense of something. Ultimately, the tarot should give you a message. So, in order to interpret the symbols, then you use your right brain. The right brain takes a look at these things and understands the analogy and can extract some meaning. But it's that left brain, it's that logical, rational mind that can say, okay, how can I actually explain this in words? Let's go ahead and look at the Queen of Wands. And we see her there it's very much got this kind of like starry night sort of background, this theme here. Do you guys see that? And to end with these cards, you really see that transition through the darkness into the light. Well, it's very clear to me that this is just a absolutely beautiful deck. Let's go ahead and pull a card and see what the book has to say. We shuffle very nicely. And we'll cut one time, non-dominant hand. And our card is... I know I shuffled off camera, but I swear, look at what I pulled. The Queen of Wands. The last card that we looked at. Tarot's so crazy like that. All right, let's see what the book has to say about the Queen of Wands. Unlike her impetuous children, the page and the knight, who are helplessly caught in the geyser of fire, the queen directs its energy so that she dances gracefully atop it. She manifests a shimmering flower in her wholesome joy, and the flame wraps around her alluringly, rejoicing in her rapturous existence. The Queen of Wands is the vibrant expression of a brimming mind. Sunlit, exuberant, she takes all the positive energy of fire and warms the world with it, radiating confidence and charisma. Her joyful display is infectious, inspiring positivity in others. As a result, she is a respected, productive leader. When you see her come up in a reading, consider how you can incorporate her enlivening energy into your life. All right, you guys, how can we be like the Queen of Wands? Remember, don't get too caught up in the gender of the card. The expression of a card being either a king or a queen, a knight or a page is simply an expression of energy. It's not an expression of gender. So a man can still be a queen, a woman can be a king. And one of the things that you might be asking the tarot is, what is it that I need to do? What do I need to embody? What do I need to incorporate more into my life? Just like the suggestion. So if you're pulling this card, it's not to just say, here's this woman that exists and this is the energy that she has, but it's a teacher for you, and it is a guide, and it is an expression of and it's setting the example of a way that you can shine more brightly out into the world. So I thank you so much for joining me through this little exploration of the Light Visions Tarot. As I said, link will be down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.